Hi, my name is George Gavina, and welcome to my video for Module 662 in Virtual Communities and Social Media. Today we're going to be looking at using a platform called Discord, or application called Discord, as a virtual community platform. Um, so, things that we're going to go over. We're going to cover what a virtual community is, different hosting platforms like I covered in the past. So, um, in the rubric, you said that this should either be a continuation of our old topic or something completely new. So I consider this a continuation of the old topic. The old topic being how virtual communities can adapt to um, physical communities, how virtual communities could better physical communities. So this is just my take on why this one specific platform should be used more often, whether it's in a informal sense or used as a LMS. So we're going to cover what a virtual community is, different hosting platforms. What does Discord, this platform, bring to the table? Some examples are individualized communities, extensive permissions, private messaging, and voice and text. So what is a virtual community? I think we all know this, but just in case, virtual community is a social network of individuals who connect through specific social media in order to discuss mutual interests and topics. So whether you live in the same housing plan or you all play the same video game together, you're all in this virtual community together talking about this one thing for this one reason. Um, a virtual community platform is a hosting service where the virtual community takes place. So, for example, last time we looked at Facebook. This time we're going to be looking at Discord. So, what is Discord? So, whenever you search up Discord, the very first thing on Discord's main page, it says whether you're part of a school club, gaming group, worldwide art community, or just a handful of friends that want to spend time together, Discord makes it easy to talk every day and hang out more often. So that's a basic of what Discord is. They're all about multi-purpose, anything, any type of virtual community. They want to be there to support you, especially in this new COVID era. Discord has widely expanded their community. Whenever it used to be gaming based, now it's part of education. It's part of just talking to family. Maybe you talk to family during Thanksgiving, things like that. So we're the things in Discord that we're going to cover is friends, private messaging, servers, setting up a server. Roles are the permissions of the server. So some like a teacher would of course would have different permissions than the student, etc., etc. We're gonna look at some fully set up servers and how they look fully fledged out, and we're gonna look at how Discord can be used in many different virtual community scenarios, not just education or not just one specific thing. So if we pull up Discord here, we see uh, we see Discord. So this is the main page here. This is where you would see all your friends. If you had a lot of friends, they'd be listed out right here, and you'd see all your direct messages with all your friends. Create a new message. You need to add friends. So let's look at adding a friend real fast. So this is where you type in a username. Um, um, we're gonna type in anything, and then so if you look down here, you could see my new username for Discord down here. And normally underneath it would have four numbers after it, so a person could add you because normally usernames are taken up. Discord didn't want that to be a problem, so you could have the same username as someone else, but it would just follow by four different numbers. So I over here on the side, you can see how it's set up. You could be a part of many, many, many different servers. Servers would be here over here on the left, and these are your individualized virtual communities. So I went ahead and made one. I just called it Virtual Communities and Social Media, and this is a little example of how things would be set up. Over here on the left is the specific channels, whether they be voice channels down here where you could join and listen, or they're text channels where you could discuss with your classmates about specific topics and stuff. Like this is just a very basic one. I just created this in 10 minutes. It would be a lot more specific if it wasn't brand new. Over here on the right, you could see everybody who's online. You could see people who are online. And whenever you get into individualized permissions and roles, you could see they would be split up in different ways. So let's say you have 20 people in a class. Your class is on Discord, and so the class has 4 groups for group projects, and 5 people in each group. You, instead of online, it would say group 1, and it would have the 5 people. Group 2, 5 people. Group 3, 5 people. Group 4, 5 people. Something like that. So yeah. So we if we go back to the PowerPoint here, things we're going to cover. We covered friends. We could have individualized friends. You could private message them, which we can't see because we have no friends. Um, we looked at the servers. So, and then like server setup. Let's say I wanted to, let's, for example, module 1. Um, hey, Dr. Jose. Or if she's in here, you could type at, and it'll ping Dr. Jose. So let's say, hey, professor. So if there's more than one professor, I set up roles in this server. So if we go to the server settings and we look at roles, you could see you could either be a professor, a student, or you could be a group leader. So if we go to um, professor is going to have more roles than the student would, and you could go in. So the professor would be an administrator, while the students wouldn't be a administrator. Um, so like let's say I go over to, let's save changes. Let's say I go over to me here. I could add a role to myself. I will be a professor, even though I'm not. So let's go over. So like let's say, hey Dr. Jose. So our class would be a good example because we have more than one professor. So we would have Brian Jose and Irene Jose, and they both have the professor title. So let's say I needed a question answered on module 1, and it doesn't matter which professor answers it. I would go, hey professor, and I would tag the whole category. I have a question. It will automatically ping both Dr. Jose's, and whoever sees it first will get back to me. So now that's a little example of how the individualized roles would be set up. This would be great in any virtual community. So let's say we have administrators on a gaming group, and we want the leader of the group to be the administrator, and he controls what everything's going on and what people are saying and stuff like that, while other people have lesser permissions. That is possible with Discord through their use of roles, and they're color coordinated, and everything. You can go into even more specifics than these sliders. Okay, so we looked at friends, we looked at private messaging, we looked at this server, we looked at let's look at voice channels. So I'm in this voice channel right now. Hopefully you can still hear me. And then so that's how voice calls go. You just click into them, and then you click out of them, and you could be in there with everybody in the entire class. Let me check and make sure this is still recording. It is, okay. So that's voice chat, that's text chat. Next we're going to look at some fully set up servers. Okay, so this, you could add a server. So whenever you create your own server, it asks you like, what are you setting it up for? So local community would be a good example of the HOA that I'm a part of, or Springdale Township that I talked about in my first podcast or video. Clubs would be like, I'm the president of ACM, the club here on campus, and I would click that for that, and so on and so on. So let's say I'm creating something for my club. I would name it ACM La Roche chapter, and I would say I'm making this for my club or community. I press create, and then there's my brand new chapter. So you could see what else popped up here. What I was looking at earlier was one of the educational servers that teaches people how to speak English. So I'll go over to this new server here. So this is an example of a fully set up server. So you could see how the roles are set up over here. So they have a bot that tries to help people get to where they're going. So if they need help, they could type at help, and a helper will help them. This is the administrator. These are moderators helping them out. Senior staff, junior staff, teachers, boosters, who are people who donated to the server, native English speakers, and people who are not native English speakers. So as you scroll down, you got different people. So whenever I go to explore public servers, we have different categories here. We have gaming. So gaming, we can see all the different types of games. Music, for different types of music. Education, for learning different things. Homework help, AP students, English. This is the server we were just on. Science and tech, and entertainment. So if we go to education, let's say we want to go to AP server, homework help. I've never clicked on the server before. Let's go to homework help. Welcome to homework help. Acquaint yourself with the roles. Check out the roles. Check out the tips. So this is a better example of a fully fledged out Discord server virtual community. That's all about getting help with your homework. Staff, blah blah blah. Little picture up here. So this is the roles, tips. This is an example of what it would look like. So like let's say this was a more fully fledged out version of this. This would say announcements. This would say syllabus. This would say modules, similar to how we use Canvas. And see all these people down here? These are all the people who are talking right now and are getting help with their homework, I'm assuming. Challenges, debates, math, algebra. So if we go into... I don't want to click on these because I don't know what kind of language these people are using. So I don't want to record it. But if we go back... that's a good example of a fully fledged set up server, a brand new server that could just be created, and I'm positive if I spent a couple hours, I could easily get this to look like this. And I wanted to talk about how this can be used in many different types of virtual communities, not just educational. So if I was creating something for my HOA, I could talk about different topics, make different events, things like that, such as in any platform. But the reason why I did this is because I was in my night class the other day, and me and my friend were talking about how great would it be, how much more organized it would be for a class to be taught over Discord instead of Zoom or something like that. Because Discord could also do whenever you go into one of these voice channels, Discord can also do video, and everyone can share their video exactly like Zoom, and it's a lot more organized and more helpful, I feel, at least. So that's the reason why I wanted to go a little bit more in depth into why Discord can be a better virtual community platform than the more popular ones such as Facebook and maybe even a LMS. But Discord isn't really specifically LMS like other platforms, though. But yeah, thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed my podcast or video for Module 6.3 and the virtual communities and social media course.